Okay, we'll keep going. Right, let's get started. So, oh, second. Mute everybody. Mute Gemma. There we go. Right, so I'm going to let people in the background. I've obviously not set my, when everybody comes in, come in, mute and cameras off, but it's okay. So yeah, so today we're going to go through Microsoft Planner and Action Management. So a little bit about me. I do process improvement and efficiencies and stuff for small businesses, well, small to medium-sized businesses. And one of the biggest things I find with my clients is that a lot of people don't understand how to use the technology that they've got. I started my business because I was burnt out and I didn't know any of these quick wins. So I've just decided to do a monthly webinar where I give those quick wins to other people, just to make sure that they can, I don't know, find some time in their day, basically. So basically, we're going to go through how to set up a news planner. We're going to add it to your teams, the channels that you've got in there, and any of your personal tasks in there as well. Look for accountability. One of the other things I find a lot is that there's a lot of spreadsheets in play with actions in, and nobody really knows what's going on unless they're sent the latest version of the spreadsheet or they go and find the spreadsheet. Whereas with Planner, you can have all of your team's actions in one place. The way I recommend that organizations have it is you have your own planner. You have a channel for kind of all your big main things. So you may have a marketing channel, a senior leadership channel, trying to think anything else, IT channel, and that's where you keep all your team-based tasks there. But I'll go through more so you can see what I'm talking about at the same time. And then yeah, just to build your confidence up as well, so how you use it in your day-to-day life. So I don't think we've got any more people coming, so let's get going. Okay. So this is I've been playing around this morning just to make sure that everything is going to work day to day. So your planner is always on your left if you've pinned it. If it's not there, you need to go find it. So if you use your little three dots and you view more apps, there'll be a list. And in there, if it's not there, you can just type planner and it will come up. You can right click on it and you can pin. So mine's pinned at the moment, so saying unpin. So you can say pin it and then it will appear in your list. Don't know if you also know, but you can drag and drop these things in order of how you use them. So for example, I don't really use OneDrive this way. I don't use calls. I do use bookings, admin very rarely, calendar quite a lot, Teams quite a lot, chat very rarely, so I'll go under bookings, and planner is probably one of my top ones that I use. So you can drag and drop to make that the order in which that you want to make it easier for you. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to show you is this. Once you click planner, this is what you get. So you'll go in here and you'll have all of the plans that you've had before. You might not have any. You've got an option which is my day, which I'll go through later. My tasks, my plans. So you can have a screenshot of all your plans that you've got, or you can just see what your day looks like, but I will go through that later. So let's go down here first. So we can create one of two things. We can create a plan or a portfolio. Portfolio, not gonna lie, I don't know what it is because I don't have a license. So if I don't have a license, it means that I haven't had the need to use it yet. So we're going to go for plan. So we're going to create a plan. So we've got, I'm going to say we're going to go through three different ways to create plans here. So there's a new thing that's come in, which is planning with a project manager. So we're going to go through that first. So the first one is going to give it a name. So we're going to call it, I don't want to call it team review. I'm going to call it, I don't know, business, not really business, I'm going to call it marketing. Don't know why. Marketing review. and I'm going to call it A just because I'm going to do 3 of these. I'm going to pin it to my plan so it appears in here, and I'm going to add it to one of my teams. So I'm just going to add it to one of my test teams that I've got just so it doesn't confuse my world. So add it to my test team, but in real world, you'd put it under your marketing team or you'd come under yourself. Let me just let someone else in. And then we're going to go create. It's going to come up with a project manager. I'm going to say AI screen because it's kind of the best way to explain it. So the project manager is how they've used AI within the plans, basically. Saying it can't pin, but hey ho. Right. So what you want to do here is just like you'd use some sort of AI or ChatGPT or Copilot, whatever you use, you're going to share what you want to do. So I'm going to say what I want to do here. So I want to manage my marketing team, keep track of tasks, items to do, one-to-ones, objectives. What else would you want in there? Review, annual leave, and anything else you think is applicable for me. So we're going to go and generate those tasks. So this did take about a minute, so it's not it feels a long time because you're on screen. But yeah, so while that's doing, I'll just waffle on for a minute. So Microsoft are looking to incorporate AI into all of their products now. So they're looking to add these wins into Excel, into PowerPoint, into Outlook, basically anything that they use. That they use in their stack, should I say. So yeah. So it's taken, oh, there we go. Okay. So what it's done is it's taken my sentence that I've put in and basically created a list of tasks that it thinks it wants me to do. So we've got create a task management system for the marketing team, set up a system tracking, establish a process, organise regular team meetings. Oh, it's got a Z in it. Hey ho. Implement a performance review system, create a shared calendar for the team. That's pretty good. So these are some things that it's telling me out of these that I should do and I should start soon. So what we're going to do is we're just going to assign this to the project manager. And the project manager is going to go off, and this is my RAI project manager, and it's going to add in the meat to what's going to go in here. So I'm going to click this, because again, it takes about a minute, but you have to think of other things it's doing, and it will start pinging. Oh, I am set to do not disturb, but you might see my activity coming up. So whilst that's happening, I'm going to go through what these other things are. So basically you have a way to view things, and there might be a way that you want to see it better. I prefer a board, but you can also have a grid. So this is just like an Excel file where you have your list of actions in there. They're all assigned to me, as well as the project manager, and you can have a quick look just to view what's going on with it. And that's on the tab. You've also got the board. So the board I like because you can move things along. That will make more sense when we look at one of the other options shortly. We're going to look at a sales pipeline. But for this, I quite like that it would start at not assigned. It's been assigned. The project manager is now going through and it will assess whether it needs any of my input, or it will say that it's reset ready. So we've got one that's ready, so let's go look. So what it's done is it's taken the sentence, it's saying when it needs to be done by, which is basically today. This is us doing it, isn't it? We're creating a task management system for the team. Bit of a snag here because it looks like they've got all the code in there, which is not great. So we'll just see what the next one it generates is like. It's all new things that it's putting in. This is the first time I've actually used Project Manager, not seen it before. Let's just check the other one. Hey, have I killed it? I feel like I've killed it. Dun, dun. Why are you not clicking? There we go. I'm asking too much of it probably. Let's try this one. Yeah, you see even this one's not great. Why are you giving me Python? Plain text. No, okay, let's ignore that then. So, what it actually, let's go to the one that I did this morning because that one worked fine. So, oh, it's not liking this today. Maybe this morning when I was doing stuff, I was more patient with it because you have to think it is asking a lot because I'm also sharing my screen as well. So let's just give it a second. Come on. Did I do? Let's try go back into Planner. Always technical difficulties, isn't there? Dun, dun, dun. Maybe for the next one, I won't show you it generated. Maybe I'll show you what I've generated. Don't want to crash it out because it will crash out the call. Let's just give it a second. Dun, dun, dun. Come on. That's still working. It's just not liking that. Mm-mm-mm. Come on. Do you know, I think this is the first one out of the 6 that I've done that I've had technical difficulties. Not great. Right, let's go to this one. So that's going to carry on in the background. So let's go to. It's just slow now, isn't it? Hear it wearing away. Right, let's carry. I'll just let it catch up with itself and I'll just talk to you about a few things. So Outlook links in with Teams and your planner. So there's other things that you can do. So if you flag any emails, so you put your little red flag that you're going to come back to, you can find that in your My Tasks. So that's a quick way. So rather than having to troll through your inbox or sort by flagged or filter by flagged, you can actually go into your My Tasks in Planner and it will show you all of your flagged emails that you want to go to. And when you open them, it's got the full content of the email into it and allows you to keep working with it, which is great. What else have you got? You have, let's go through. So we've gone through board. So I'm gonna just keep talking while I'm trying to envisage where it looks like. So Teams works with things called buckets. So you have a bucket where you put things in it. So you might have a bucket of to do. There we go. I think it's called self. So these are your buckets. So you've got buckets that are not assigned, you've got buckets that are assigned, etc., etc. So works with buckets, works with, I think you can group by things as well. Right, so this is one that's finished. I'm a bit reluctant to click on anything now. I'm quite scared. Um, Hey ho, give it a whirl. Right, so this is what the other one should have looked like. So this one I did for a random team. So approved team requests, and it's gone through and it's used AI to basically show you how you need to do it. So if you're a bit puzzled where you kind of come up with actions and things and don't actually what's the word? You don't put any meat on it, you don't actually think it through. This is what the project manager's actually doing, which I think is really good. You can edit and remove things out and change it for you, but I guess it's trying to remove a step for you to help you, I don't know, implement things better. Um, so the other thing is you've got, yeah, you can assign to the bucket, you can assign it a priority. You can also give it a label. So a label is a color coded, a bit like you might categorize your emails with labels or your calendar items with labels. It's the same thing. So you could actually have like a project color. So you could say this is for project annual review, and then you can assign the label for that, which would then show up. It's gone as the it's frozen again. It will show up as your pink to say that this is your project, basically. And then what else you got? So if you scroll down, which I can't do at the moment, which is really useful. I think this is going to be my best one yet. Right, so I'm gonna open it again. Why am I opening it again? We've also got duration and completion. So this can be useful when you've got like a team and you need to know where they're up to. So they've estimated that this task is going to take them a day. Then it's going to, they're going to say, I'm about 75% the way through. I've spent 6 hours on it already, and I've got about 2 hours, I think, to go. So it's a really good way to manage where things are up to. So instead of having to go back and say, how are we getting on with that? Where is it? Where are we with this? You can see they've already spent effort. But then you can actually go in and you can say, why has this gone up? You've estimated a day, but you've actually spent, 8 hours and your day is 7 hours, for example. You've got other options that you can use. You can have checklist. So part of this, so that what was this one? This one was approved team leave requests. So checklist would be review other team members that are off. I'm using quite basic examples, but the things that you might want to use it for will help somebody else to do something. So if you've got team members that need quite high direction, you can assign them a task with a checklist of items into it to say that, say you're in finance and you want someone to go and do due diligence on a company you're going to work with. Okay, so you need to go and check company's house. You need to check whether the director's got any marks against them. You need to check whether they're on the electoral roll. I mean, I don't know, the things that you check, you can put all these things in the checklist. Again, helping your team so that they're not coming to you constantly asking for direction. I find that really quite useful, to be fair. You can also add dependencies. So if you've got objectives or actions that are reliant upon other actions being completed, then this is the bit where you can say, actually, wait for that bit. Until that bit's done, I can't start this bit. If that other bit gets completed, you'll get a flag to say this is ready to start now. So this project manager is more of a larger team way, but you can also do it like on your own. You don't have to use any of the project manager. You don't have to do any of this. You can do it all on your own, which we'll go through. You can add it to a channel. Like I was saying to you before, if you had a marketing channel or a project channel, and then goals. So goals is again, again another paid add-on, which I don't have, but my clients do. So goals are where you can filter down organizational objectives right down to what's the word, day-to-day members of teams. They can have like the diluted version of that objective or goal. So that's where goals comes in, but that again is an entire session on its own. I'm going to try and click off this. Probably should have clicked off before, but here we go. Okay, so then we're going to look at I think it was it A, the other one. Let's try. So it's not A, it's C. So C. So as I said to you before, you can create your own. So this is something I did before, so create test task. So we could create our own things. So we could change buckets. So we can say, okay, we need a I use this for my quarterly planning. So I use this for quarterly goals. So quarter one, and then I'll do something that's on my board. Hang on. So Jan. No, that's quick Q2. No, it is, sorry. Jan, April, July. I've got a notice board behind me just in case you want to know what I'm looking at. So that's quarter one, quarter two, can't spell, quarter two, etc., etc. So you can just set out your quarters and then you can say, right, quarter one, I'm going to achieve, I'm going to review my sales process. I'm also going to have generated 30% income for the year. So we'll just put on the P&L. So these are things that I can check in. What else do I want to do? So July, what do I want to do in July? Pretending it was July. I think I've got a conference in July. So there you go. So then by that quarter, it needs to have been done. If I've not, so let's go into the generate P&L. So this one looks a little bit differently than the A and B that we looked at before. I'm going to start date or anything, any priorities, got no notes or nothing. So I can add my own notes in here. I can add in tables, I can add attachments. So I can go in and I can, link to an URL. So this could be, so a good example actually was I wanted to find what the thing's called that you take to conferences with you, like pens and stuff. Can't remember. Let's just get pens. Find pens. Find pens. So then inside, I'm gonna attach in, say, my logo. I'm gonna attach a URL for some suppliers that I found. I can add checklist items to say source pens. I can say I want 100 of them. So you can use, excuse me, sorry, you can use it as a checklist or you can use it as a list of things. Again, as you're seeing these things I'm doing, I'm hoping that you're looking at things that you do in your world and being able to see how things can help you, basically. So that's attachments. Then you've got comments. So you might have something in there that's got generate on the P&L, and I'm going to assign that to me, and I'm also going to assign it to I'm going to assign it to Sam. So yeah, assign her to that. So we're going to generate 30% on that, and comments are we're going to put things like what have I done for that? So I attended large conference, potential client of $1 million added to sales pipeline. And that basically, so if I send that, it adds it into the history. So it doesn't really matter whether I do that or not, but it'd be useful for Sam because even though we're trying to achieve this goal, she can see the history of where we're going, and dip into things to say, actually, who was that client? Could you just add in the name of the client? Or so again, however you want to use it for you, it is quite useful to track as well. If I haven't done something, so for example, I didn't find any pens, it's gonna have to go into quarter two because we're just not there. It's a drag and a drop. So that's why I like the board more than the grid, because the grid, to be fair, you can I think you can change, yeah, you can change your bucket with drop downs. Again, it's personal preference. I prefer the board, I prefer to drag and drop. You've also got you've got a schedule. So if I put on here, this one is due in July, because that's what we're saying is the next quarter one. This one is due in we're gonna put this in, say, the 14th of July. You don't have to close, you can just click off as well. Oh, 13th of May, I've done that. Meant to do 13th of July. 14th of July. Okay, so I've done that, done that. The conference we'll say is the 26th, 28th. Okay, so now we've got dates on these now. If we look at the schedule, we can actually see when these things are due. So we can actually see June, hang on, July. So these are the three things on my target for July. So really useful to look at from a forward planning thing. If you've got staff, you can actually see what they're up to. One thing it doesn't do, which bugs me, is you can't see who it's assigned to yet. There is plans to do that. So if you can see on the board, it's assigned to me and Sam. Um, or even if I put the label on, that would have been useful just to see who's got what. So yeah, it is coming, but yeah, I don't know when. You've got charts, that's where you can see what's going on. You've got your tasks on the side and you can see where the tasks are up to. Who's doing what, who's been assigned what, how many are high, medium, low priorities. You may track that, you may not. High priority that's always late can be a problem. So it's always good to look at if you're doing one-to-ones and reviews. So let's go back to this plan again now. So we're not going to use Project Manager. I'm hoping this doesn't kill the world. We're going to use a business plan. So this is a template. So you got lots of templates. When I first looked at this, there was 2 templates. So they are coming, they are adding to them. You got employee onboarding, software development, project management, a simple plan. That's like to do, very simple. If one of your active actions is to do a SWOT analysis, it helps you through strengths and weaknesses, and we'll put a skeleton base in there for you and any research reports you're going to do. But let's go for our business plan. And we're going to use that template and pray that it doesn't kill the world. So we're going to add it to the test team. I'm going to pin it in the crate. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, see how quick that was. It must be the AI side of things. Maybe it's still a little bit, it just needs a little bit more time, I think. So this bit, so this is probably a traditional automation rather than AI bit. They've got a set list of buckets and a set list of activities they think you need to do to perform your business plan, which to me, yeah, that's fine because if something's not there, I can just add it myself. So yeah, so they've done it in buckets, which basically is the way that it expects you to do your business plan. So we've got actions in there, what the primary focus is. You can add attachments, you can assign it to someone, and it's just a way for you to get stuff done. Let's go to my tasks because I did talk about that before. So let's go. These are my flagged emails. I did check this before that there was nothing, nothing of concern. I don't think there is. So yeah, these are my flagged emails. These are the things that I've done. These are the things that I still need to do. And yeah, it's a central location. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was how you plan your day. So with any kind of actions or not actions, with any kind of to do and list of things that you need to get done, one of the biggest things is accountability. So if you're like me, that you need structure in your day. So I need to start and end my day with so let me tell you how I end my day. So I end my day looking at my calendar. I look at what's coming up the following week or the following day. I keep aware of things that are going on and I plan what I'm going to do. So if I'm not on site with a customer, say I've got an admin day, so I'll look at my actions the night before and I will go, okay, these are the things that I'm going to get done. So if I say, I'm going to start I don't know, I'm going to go through my emails first thing. That's what I'm going to do. So what you need to do is you need to start creating habits for the things that you're doing. Don't do what I did when I first started this. I was all excited and I created a tasks and actions list with all these buckets and I just didn't look at it because you get emails coming in and distractions. So if you need to, schedule it in your calendar. So the last 15 minutes of the day, make sure you're planning your to-do for the next day. Then in the morning when you get in, have it in your calendar to do those tasks. So regiment yourself to do those things and have the same for your team. So if you if you're used to having an Excel file and people just quickly go through the Excel file before the your one-to-one or whatever, well, that's not good enough anymore, because you've got planner, and you as a manager, or you as a business owner, or you as a team member in a project or in a team, you should be able to go in and see where the things are up to with everything, rather than have to go into Excel files and try and figure out, because Joe Blogs does it one way and Jane Blogs does it the other way. So come up with a standard. Mine probably isn't great, to be fair, in the sense of the naming of things. So I would potentially come up with a rule. So I would take a screenshot of this and I would annotate it, and I'd say, right, if you don't know where it's going to go, we're going to create a new bucket. So let's add a new bucket in. I think I have to do it at the end. So we're going to add a new bucket, and we're going to put unknown or needs filing. Needs filing, because we don't know where it's going to go, but we know we've got a task to do. So I'm going to drag that over to the beginning. And then anything that people don't know goes into the needs filing pile. So something I don't know, I need to do my mission and values. Don't think that's on there, but we'll do it anyway. Or it might be on there. So mission and values. So as I said, come up with a screenshot of this, and you need to say, right, put it in a bucket. If you don't know, it goes into the needs filing bucket, and somebody else or management you can discuss it during your one-to-one. I've got this action I need to do, and I don't know where it needs to go. They need to be, or you need to be saying whether it's in progress or not, whether you've actually started it. Your priority is important. There's different decision matrices for that. So you can say, is it urgent but not important? Is it important and not urgent? So there's different decision matrices that you can use to help you explain to people what is urgent. So for example, and this is my beautiful comment, I think this is from my husband actually. He says, your lack of planning does not constitute my emergency. So that's where people who don't plan things through, don't actually think, oh no, I need to get this done by Friday. It would actually be low priorities for you. Because if they'd have asked you when they should have asked you, you would have planned it into your workload, and you would have got it done for the due date there. So be careful when you market things as urgent, because just because it's their urgency doesn't mean it's yours. So if you do mark things as urgent and you have an inbox of everything that's urgent, then it just dilutes the power of urgency, doesn't it? So be mindful about that. Everything comes in as medium, because also be mindful about putting things as low, because if you're anything like me, your low tasks always stay low. So if you've got a task in there that's been low for a long time, you need to stick it to medium, because it needs to go higher on the priority, because the decision matrix says it's been there for too long, you need to look at it. So that's your priority. Your start date. So if you're organised and you think, okay, I have a board report due every quarter, and for that board report, I need to board meeting is on the 31st, and it takes me usually about a week to do that. So I'm going to do my start date is going to be the 23rd, because I'm going to make sure that that report is in my mind on the 23rd. I'm going to plan it out what my following week's going to look like. So I'd put it in as the 23rd, ready for the 31st. You can do repeat, but just be mindful about the repetition bit, because when you close or complete an activity, if it's repeated yearly, it would just open a new one. So I've had questions before where it's been, I keep completing it, but it keeps coming back. It just won't go away. And then you look in the completed section, and there's like 75 of the same thing in like 75 years time. Again, so yeah, so checklist, what needs to go into checklist, what needs to go in notes, whether any attachments need to be put on, and whether you want to put any comments on. So that's like So just originally what I asked you to do, take a screenshot of this, make the rules of how you're going to fill this in and how your team are going to fill this in. That will make sure that it's consistent for everybody. So you heard me talking about my little completed section. It is super simple. I've completed it. Gives me a little ding and it goes into a list underneath that bucket. So in there, it's got the history. So it was completed, created on that date. Should have the completed one in there. It did change the due date though, and it does say completed a few moments ago. I thought it added it into the comments, but maybe not. We can hover and we can see it anyway. So okay. So that's the action sort of police. So that's like create rules, you know, how you're actually gonna let people go rogue on this sort of thing. Again, you can have a team for you, you can have a team for your teams. So if you've got an organization that is split into departments, you can have a planner for each of your departments. I have it for my customers. So I have a plan for each of my customers. If I use my customers' Microsoft space, I will create that plan within their space so that if, you know, risk management, anything happens to me, they've still got the project and what's going on in that world. But yeah, so I create plans for all my customers. I get them to do the same thing. I try and remove Excel as much as I can in terms of actions because it's not very dynamic. It's not great. So yeah, that's the action part of it. I've done flagged emails. Etiquette. Etiquette is more of a um when you're putting things in, just be mindful that people are going to read this and be like, you know, I don't know, rang Jane about this and she was rude. Hopefully there's no one called Jane on the call. She was rude. Okay, well, that's going in there. That's not very good, is it? Because now anybody can see that Jane was rude. So etiquette is, if you don't want Jane to know what you've said about her, don't put it in. If you don't want your customer to know what you've said about them, don't put it in. People can request all the information and everything that you've ever said about them. So be mindful about what you're actually putting down. So that's the etiquette side of things. So I've told you about sign, I've told you about the labels. Um, there are also reports, but reports are only available in the new version. So I did open this before, so I'm going to open it again. Right. So this was one that I created, and it's given me a report. So it's got the status of the task, it's got the summary of it. It is a bit glitchy, as you can see, but it's giving you highlights. It's given all the actual tasks, any comments that are on them, who they're assigned to. So it is very useful. I can see this appearing in the other side of Planner, because it is useful. But yeah, it is a little bit concerning, the bugginess of it. So I probably wouldn't use this bit yet. As I said, I only discovered this in the last like day or so. Next thing you've got in the new world is a whiteboard. I quite like the whiteboard, but again, I'm scared because anything I do now in this new world is just so buggy. And it's, yeah, brilliant, 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 brilliant. Right, so the whiteboard is basically a post-it note station. So you've got a blank screen and you've got the ability to drag in post-it notes, and this can be used when you're trying to plan out a project. If you're trying to say, okay, I mean, I do this, but I do this with real post-it notes. I'll go with a customer, we'll have a big whiteboard, we'll come up with a plan of attack, and then we have to go through the detail of how we do that plan. So that's where the post-it notes come in. So you get your post-it notes and you say, okay, let's go for the 30% on the P&L, 30% increase or whatever. How do we get to that? Okay, so step one, we need to be looking at more sales, we need to be looking at more people. Here we go. So this was something I was playing with before. I'll tell you about Loop in a minute. So yeah, so you can drag and you can drop and it's pretty much like you would in a real life situation. But as we are all remote, not all remote, but many people are remote now, it's a good way to be inclusive. If people are home, you could do this on screen as well as doing it in the room. So I quite like the post-it notes. You can change the color of things, add reactions, add comments, and you can create an actual plan of attack within the whiteboard. So I really like that part. Just trying to think if there's anything else. In your teams, so let's go to teams. Let's go to my test team. Test team, test channel, planner. There we go. So you can put planner inside your test channel. So instead of having to go into planner, you can incorporate it into what's going on. So let's go to, I'm trying to see what else we got. Add an existing plan. Let's add the business plan, add to channel. So now it's in there. So you can do other things. So I've added documents and stuff, high level documents in there. Oh, the one thing I didn't show you, because it crashed is, and I'm scared it's gonna crash again. It's not that one. Is it C or is it A? A. Oh. C? No. It's not there. What I did, I added a file. So I added what's the word? I created an actions team actions. So this is what I created just before the webinar, and I basically said, using the project manager, can you create me a board using my original action list? Because I thought many of you may already have an Excel-based action tracker. So it was a good way to get them imported. So instead of you having to manually type them in, it uses so if you see prepare monthly team update, go back to planner. So there's the team actions. Oh yeah, see there it is, just refreshed itself. So it's added the document in there, and then it's created the actions based upon what the original actions were, and then puts in what do you call it? Puts in the comments as well. Let's see, team updates. So yeah, so I thought that was quite a nice little touch, to be fair, but I am a little bit not confident with this new project manager thing. I still quite like this standard way. It's pretty much for muchness with Microsoft, though. They do come up with these great ideas, and it takes a little while just for it to kick in, that it's actually, the bugs are removed and stuff like that. So don't dismiss the project manager straight away. Maybe keep checking back. But yeah, for the moment, I don't think that it'd be something I would advise my clients to use. But you may be different. Think that was everything on my actions, sort of my planner list. You can share your boards internally, can't share them externally. That's a problem, but it's safer, so don't worry about it too much. Yeah, I think that is my action overview. Is there any questions, or anybody want to is it possible? No, not possible to assign tasks outside your organization, unfortunately. But what I do is I have a separate teams. I get my clients to create a login for me, and I go on their site, and that's how I do it that way. I'm thinking though, I think it's an organizational setting. So I think in Teams, because you can share a team, so a Teams channel externally, but I think that's an organizational setting. So if you do have an IT provider, managed service, ask them if you can enable that. Because if that is something you need in your organization, then I think it can be enabled. Any other questions? Quite slow in its generation. I'm quite disappointed about that, to be fair. Um, Anything anyone wants to see more of? There are other platforms available in the Microsoft space. So one of them is Power Automate and Power Forms and things. So what I'm looking at for one of my clients is they get a weekly update from their team, their direct reports and reports under them. So what I'm trying to look at is using the other platforms in Microsoft to pull the tasks out of here to automate sending of that weekly task list. So there are other options for you to do that basically, rather than having to take your actions outside. Because I do think some organizations like the fact that they can, forward the Excel file alongside their weekly updates and stuff. So yeah, there are options. It's all budget dependent. That's one of the issues, is that Microsoft allows you to do so many wonderful things, but actually you need a specialist to actually do it for you. So I'm just kind of showing you the things that without the technical side of it, that you can actually do more with it. So it is quite important. There are some settings as well. If we could just have a quick, I think a couple of people are typing. So notifications. Um, so place on notifications, show messages. So this is the activity. So this is the project manager going and doing all those things that were taking absolutely ages. So you can change the way you get notifications, and you can change emails. So if you miss and I say this on every single one of them, you can sometimes you get a missed activity email for every single time you get a missed activity, but I would just do it daily. Or don't switch it off, because there are sometimes you do miss things, but daily, and it will give you a roundup of the day. The rest of them is just a noisy interruption. If you book a Teams meeting, is it possible to invite a person from outside using his or her email address? Yes, you can. You can also now, I've found that you can see their availability as well. So if you look back at my last month's webinar, which was on Outlook, it shows you how to get to use polls and things like that to see their availability. So instead of having like 50 emails back and forth saying, are you free? It's actually, you just send a poll, everybody votes for the times they can do, and whatever the consensus is, the meeting gets booked. So I would have a look at last month's webinar on YouTube if you get a chance. So that was that was oh, the loop thing. Loop is a new thing as well, but don't again, quite a buggy thing when I last looked at it. But it's basically it's a way to loop everybody into things. So if you've got a project and your project is company wide, and you need that somebody, a project manager or somebody who's got oversight, needs sight of everything, you can start tagging or looping in everything. So you can loop in the emails to it, the actions into it, the Teams conversation into it. So loop is a way to bring the whole of your Microsoft space together on a set topic or a set point, basically. But yeah. Any other questions? Got no more typers, but I hope it's been useful for you. I hope apologies about the slowness at times. I think yeah, that was a bit annoying, but hey ho. if you do have any questions, I have emailed you all this morning, so you do have my email address. So please just fire back any questions you have. I'm happy to answer them. Thank you for spending your Friday morning with me as usual. Hopefully see you next month. I'm doing AI agents, how to create your own AI agent in Copilot. So if you do use Copilot, you can create your own, I don't know, bots to help you day to day. So please join me for my next month's webinar. And yeah, thank you very much. And I hope I will see you all or hear from you all soon. Take care. Have a great weekend when it comes. Bye.